Well, this should be an unpopular video, but gotta say it because wedding season's coming, and there's a lot of newbies out there that just bought a camera that are now wedding photographers. Look, I know it seems easy because you have the camera that can do everything and the lenses that are tack sharp, and hopefully they're dual card. But going into a wedding as a new photographer is really, really, really stupid. You know, straight out, it's just dumb. I'm not saying this because I don't want newbies stealing my weddings at lower prices. I don't care about any of that. I'll tell you a little story really quick. I had a studio at another location for many, many years. And it was right connected to a venue, a restaurant venue in the same building. And a bride came to me looking for a photographer, and it came through word of mouth. I mean, most of my business comes through word of mouth because I don't do much advertising. I just do the Google thing and word of mouth, and I'm good to go. But this bride came to me and I said, you know, it's X amount of dollars. And she's like, oh, could you wiggle on that? And I'm like, no, because, you know, it's a lot of work and, you know, post-production, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she said, okay, I'm gonna shop around. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I said, you know, just let me know when you're ready. If you want to book, just call me. So I never heard from her. Anyway, I was driving to work on a Saturday. I don't know what time it was, but it was later in the day. And as I'm pulling in, I see a big limo pull up to the venue that was connected, you know, in my same building. And the bride gets out and she starts running towards me. The same bride that never called me back. And she's screaming profanities at me. You know, why the hell didn't you make me book with you, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is during her wedding day. And I said, what's the issue? She said, this photographer's horrible, blah, blah. And I said, well, why did you go? And she said, because he was half the price of you. Anyway, you know, to say the least, she was unhappy. Now, this is before she even got her photos. She is, you know, because the gentleman that did underbid me by half didn't know how to shoot a wedding, didn't know what he was doing, and there was issues, and she knew it before she even got the photos. So anyway, there are, you know, for an outdoor wedding that, you know, you have the perfect day and it's sunshine or, you know, overcast or whatever you want to say, it's, you know, pretty much you can shoot your wedding with an iPhone. Yeah, I know you guys don't want to hear that, you big wedding pros, but you know, I'm not saying you can blow big prints out of it, but I'm just saying. But when there's any kind of circumstance where, you know, it's cloudy and rainy, or it's indoors and there's black ceilings and shitty lighting, and there's a lot of things that pop up during a wedding day. You know, from the room where they're getting ready to the reception, there's a lot of things that can happen that as a new photographer, you'll have problems getting good images. Now, for you, this is, oh, well, I'll do my best. But for the bride, hopefully this is a once in a lifetime thing. You know, they don't go into this saying, you know, my photos suck this time, but my next wedding, they may be better. So you're doing a disservice to someone else, not to yourself. Like, you know, in the end, if it's a situation you can't handle, you're screwing someone else, not yourself. And it can totally destroy your reputation just with one bad wedding. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you don't do this for a living, please, you know, get with somebody that does do this. You know, second shoot, you know, and do this for an entire year. I mean, get as many weddings under your belt as you possibly can. 2 years in some cases. When I started out, you know, we weren't allowed to go to a wedding for a year, and then we stood and watched for another year, and then we actually second shot because, and granted, yeah, it was film. It was a little harder back then. It was manual focus, blah blah blah, and you know, we had strobes that were, you know. It could have been gunpowder and a match for how good some of them were. But you can't just go into a wedding because you bought a camera. It's dangerous. it's just not fair to brides and grooms on their special day. This really is their special day, and you're playing Russian roulette with their day. You know, get some weddings under your belt first. Don't just dive in. It's stupid. I bring this up because, you know, I had another situation where, you know, they shot the wedding and the bride came to me and said, "What can you do?" Because, you know, they followed YouTube advice and they set up strobes throughout the wedding, and there were blaring strobes everywhere in the church, in the venue for the reception. It's, you know, because they listened to photographers that did know what they were doing, but these people just said, well, that's all I have to do. You know, they didn't account for mirrors being somewhere or harsh light and a somewhat older bride and groom. You know, something as simple as, you know, if they're a little older, you know, harsh light's gonna just destroy their faces. It's, you know, there's so many little details that you have to learn about and understand on the fly at a wedding. You know, you have to be a portrait photographer, you have to be an event photographer, you have to be like a product photographer, you have to be everything all in one. And just because you got a great camera and some great lenses doesn't mean you can do it. The other part is this photographer from this, you know, just last wedding, did have a camera go down, and he only had one camera. He had not one backup. You know, because your camera is brand new out of the box and it has dual cards, yeah, you're covered. But if that camera goes down for any reason whatsoever, or if a flash goes down, you need dual everything. And believe me, I carry 3 of everything, because I literally had a wedding where a camera went down, another camera went down, and there I was, you know, on my 3rd camera. It happens. This shit happens. You don't know what's going to happen. So again, the advice of this video is simply, please don't start shooting weddings just because you went and got a camera, because you can afford some lenses and a camera. It doesn't work that way. And this isn't like a you know, a session with a girl out in the field or, you know, whatever. This is somebody's big day. This is a really important day. And they deserve to have somebody that knows what the hell they're doing and that has experience shooting this. You know, do it for them, not for you. And for you, on the other hand, it's, you know, the bad press from this and the bad word of mouth is just devastating. You know, literally, if something happens at a wedding like that, just sell your gear. Because coming out of it in the same town you live in, or you can move, that's an option too. But I'm just trying to help. And I know you don't want to hear this because you just spent X amount of money on camera gear, but don't do it. Please, you know, get with other photographers that have been doing this for years and learn and practice. You know, practice. Anyway, that's it for the day. I hope this helps. Don't hate me. You know, I know this isn't something that a new photographer wants to hear, but it's really, really important. And I live it every day. I see it happen every day, and it's not good. I've had more brides, I'm being completely honest, I have more brides come to me saying, can you help me with these photos? Can you do anything with them? That's a sad day for a bride. And they don't forget it, and they won't ever stop talking about it. So anyway, thanks, have a great day, and practice, get good, work with other photographers. You know, some of us would be happy to have you or happy to help.